Hey, all you funny farmers. So I've been kind of incommunicado, apparently, since last year. 2020 brought the coronavirus and all the craziness that went along with it. And I just could not get my act together to talk about work after I was done with work. Other than with family and stuff, because it was just insane. Of course, everything, masks were enforced. We had shortages on everything supply-wise. Thermometers, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, bleach, sanitizer, the whole 9 yards in our pharmacy, and all the craziness and all the meanness of the people that went with it. I mean, I have to say that we've had some really, really nice people over the year. Really nice people who thank us for everything that we're doing and remembering that we are technically frontline workers and we are healthcare workers, even though we are I feel like sometimes the pharmacy is like the redheaded stepchild of the medical field, that we are not viewed as important as doctors and nurses and other things. People forget that pharmacists do a lot to make sure that you aren't harmed by your medications and make sure that things do not interact. And all of the stress and the strain that we are put under in a retail setting on a daily basis is hard. And I know I usually talk about the funny things of pharmacy, but there's a lot of things that are not funny. People can be downright not nice. And they forget that as pharmacy staff, even as not pharmacists, but as technicians, that we are working hard. We are not stupid. We are not uneducated. Some of the people that you talk to at the counter may not be fully educated yet. They're still learning, but they're not back there to give you a hard time. And they are not trying to get away with something. It seems like a lot of people think that we make the prices, we enforce how the insurance works, that we have something to do with why your stuff isn't done as quickly as you might like it. And I'm addressing these things in a non-funny way because of how bad retail pharmacy can be, and how bad it was off and on this year with all the added stress and pressure. Most of the time in most retail settings, we are working our butts off as fast as we can, as hard as we can. I know at least at the store that I'm at, there is no downtime. It may look like we have downtime. It may look like we have no line, and that means we're not busy. At any given time during the day, there's usually a couple hundred prescriptions that need to be filled. And just because there's nobody in line doesn't mean that those aren't being worked on. And there's a ton of paperwork that has to be done in pharmacy, that has to be kept on top of, and usually gets pushed aside because of having to be in front of customers. Our phones never stop ringing all day long. Never. Like, ever. The drive-through, I don't remember the last time I've had a lull in the drive-through for more than 10 minutes. That means that none of the paperwork's getting done. If we are facing customers at the register or at the drive-through or at the pickup or drop-off or wherever, that means the phone's not getting answered. There is a lot happening that most people aren't aware of. So that being said, some of the craziness that has happened this year, just, you have to laugh or else you'll cry. So, back when the thermometers were MIA and nobody could find thermometers, and they were a hot commodity, We had none. Everybody wanted the quick scan read ones for your forehead, different things like that. We had none. Like, not even the stuff that goes under your tongue. The entire thermometer section was completely empty. It was like the toilet paper section and the paper towel section and the Clorox wipes section and the bleach section. There was none to be had. And every day somebody would ask. And one lady asked me, where can I find thermometers? And I laughed under my breath because it was probably about the millionth time I answered that question that day. And I said, beats me. You might try the dollar store. And I'm trying to think of places that maybe people hadn't already thought of and hit already. And she goes, no, I mean in the store. And I'm like, oh, well, if we had them, they'd be in aisle such and such. But we don't have any. We haven't had any in months. And she's like, well, you didn't have to have an attitude. And I'm like, if you've tried other places, which you most likely have, and I'm suggesting somewhere else, wouldn't logic tell you that we don't have any? So on the subject of thermometers, I had a guy stop and purposely go to the pharmacist's window. And the pharmacist was busy at the moment, and so I went over to see if I could help him with something. He's like, I'm looking to see if you guys have any thermostats. I'm like, we don't carry thermostats. Maybe Lowe's? Home Depot? He goes, no, thermostats. He meant a thermometer. I'm like, sir, we don't have any. We haven't had any in months. So then, back when everybody was trying to make their own hand sanitizer, there were all these neat little recipes on Pinterest and Google and different places, people's blogs and stuff. And you could use like some natural ingredients and rubbing alcohol. Oh, that's another thing that totally, completely ran out. But anyway, you could make it with rubbing alcohol and aloe vera and essential oils. Is that it? I forget. Anyway, all those ingredients were, kind of decimated too. And this lady calls in on the phone and she's like, do you guys have any hand sanitizer? I said, no, we've been out for a long time now. Well, when do you get your shipments? And I told her, and she's like, okay, well, I heard you can make your own. And I said, yeah, you can Google it, or I've seen them on Pinterest. It's not too bad. It looks like it's pretty easy to make. She says, well, that's what I thought. It's just bleach and soap, right? No, ma'am, no. Please don't use bleach on your skin. That's caustic. No. 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 What? No. Anyway. And then a few months later, probably sometime this summer. Yeah. June, July, August, somewhere in there. Pause blazes. The craziness is continuing. I'm standing at the drive-thru, waiting on the drive-thru people. And this person pulls up into lane 1 and looks at me, standing there in the window in my uniform, obviously in the pharmacy. And I said, how can I help you? And they're like, do you work here? I'm like looking at my name tag. It's got, store logo on my shirt and store logo on my name tag. I'm like, yeah? How can I help you? The pharmacy's locked, right? And people can't just walk in off the street, right? Yeah. Crazy. Anyway. Another fun one was, I answered the phone and I said, hi, how can I help you? She goes, can you help me? Yes. This is Walgreens. How can I help you? Is this Walgreens? Yes, this is Walgreens. How can I help you? Yeah. I have a few more, but at the moment I'm sitting here waiting to get a COVID test so that I can go ahead and do clinics. So I'm going to save a couple for a few another day, and I hope you guys have a great day down on the Phunny farm. And remember, please be kind to your pharmacy staff. They're trying really hard.